Energy Minister Chris Bowen says fuel shipments to Australia are now secured well into May as the war in the Middle East continues with no end in sight. The number of service stations out of diesel and petrol fell over the Easter weekend, which Mr Bowen said was encouraging. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has warned Australians that the coming months may not be easy as the global oil crisis continues to drive up fuel demand and prices domestically. Let's talk about what's happening right after this. Fuel shipments to Australia have been secured well into May, and the number of service stations with diesel and petrol shortages have fallen over the Easter weekend, Energy Minister Chris Bowen has said. The government previously said Australia's fuel supplies were locked in until the end of April, but Mr Bowen told reporters today that authorities were now working to secure supplies for the following month. All the orders are locked in and contracted. Once it's contracted, the fuel belongs to the Australian company that's bought it. That is legally locked in, so that's encouraging, he told ABCRM. Of course, there is a risk in international circumstance and the international situation, but every step that can be taken is being taken. According to the latest data, 274 service stations across the country are now out of diesel, down from more than 400 on Good Friday. In New South Wales, the state with the highest number of shortages, 6% of stations were now out of diesel, Mr Bowen said. Most of the other outages are around 2 to 3% around the country. New South Wales has been higher because the farmers are seeding and sowing, and they've been a priority to get fuel to them, he said. This means we've had more outages in New South Wales than anyone would like, but that figure has been coming down, including over Easter. On Friday, Mr Bowen said 53 ships carrying fuel were on the way to Australia from refineries around the world, including in Asia, the United States, and Mexico. Australia and Singapore have signed a joint commitment to continue the trade of fuels, with the government seeking to land similar deals with other Asian nations. The Prime Minister's been, of course, talking to his counterparts. I've been talking to mine. Foreign Minister Penny Wong has been talking to hers, Mr Bowen told reporters at a media conference in Sydney. We continue to see no ships cancelled and that have been contracted for Australia and extra orders being delivered. The country's fuel stockpile remains at 39 days of petrol, 29 days of diesel, and 30 days of jet fuel. Mr Bowen said that this has been pretty consistent since the beginning of the war. Mr Albanese used a rare address to the nation last week to ask Australians to switch to public transport if they could in an effort to save fuel, but simultaneously stressed that people should continue to live as normal as the crisis rolled on. But he also acknowledged that the coming months may not be easy as the war in the Middle East continues without a clear end in sight. There are uncertain times, but I am absolutely certain of this. We'll deal with these challenges in the Australian way, working together and looking after each other, as we always have, Mr Albanese said.